Welcome to One Tired Teacher, episode 171. What do teachers think about a 4-day school week? So I've seen the idea of 4-day school weeks come up a lot. And I started wondering, what do teachers really think of this? So I did a little digging and I found out the scoop. Come take a listen.
Welcome to One Tired Teacher. And even though she may need a nap, this teacher is ready to wake up and speak her truth about the trials and treasures of teaching. Here she is, wide awake. Wait, she's not asleep right now, is she? She is awake, right? Okay. From Trina Debery Teaching and Learning, your host, Trina Debery.
Hey, so we all know how 3-day weekends impact our week. They make us feel like we have to cram in all the things. And sometimes they completely throw our kids off a schedule. They end up making the week feel even longer. Can you relate to that? So wait a minute. What are we going to do with 4-day weeks on a regular basis? Well, what if they were part of our regular routine? Something that we were used to. I did a little research to see how teachers might really feel about this. And I'll start by saying that we had a 4.5-day week for years, actually, in my district. We had an early out Wednesday every single week. We did professional development. We did good professional development. It wasn't a waste of your time. I'm going to go crazy. It was actually really, really good. And some weeks we even got to do things on our own. We had some time to reflect. We had some time to catch up. We did it. It was great. And we did offer an after-school care for kids that paid our paras, and it kept it from being a hardship for parents. Now, I loved it. And most of the teachers I worked with really enjoyed it as well. And we didn't feel like we lost time. I think our school days might have been a little bit longer to compensate for this, but we didn't feel like we lost time. And due to the shutdown, that we had, in the last couple of years, we may be more prepared for this than we think. What if the pandemic's silver lining was a schedule that gave kids and teachers the time that they've always needed to catch up? Let's look at some of the pros and cons of this. So I have read that some districts felt like they could save money by only having the school open for 4 days a week due to the cost of energy. Now in Florida, this doesn't really make sense because the buildings get so hot and I can't stand when they do that. They turn up the air conditioning massively on the weekends. It takes forever for the building to cool back down. Half the time you come in and all of the things that you had on the wall have fallen off because they've basically melted off is what it feels like. And it also encourages the growth of mold, which I have had in a number of schools. In my last school, you could literally see it going up the wall. It was so ridiculous. But maybe they could, save some money on electricity and other ways. Now, some teachers have said that this day has often been used as a catch-up day for kids or even a possible enrichment opportunity. And this might help with the childcare situation, which I have to say really irritates me. When we are just focused on that, I don't know, it just makes me feel so annoyed. We are not a childcare service. We are so much more than that. And I really wonder if people know that. Okay, I'm not going to get on my soapbox about that. I also feel that maybe it would force families and jobs to have a better work-life balance. I know in other countries, they take a large chunk of time off in the middle of the day. They take a nap and stuff and they have tea. And what if our solution in America was to work less days? Just a thought. Now, the pandemic has taught us that we need to build in time to breathe, to talk, to catch up and learn. And Fridays without in-person class just might be the answer. You might even still offer some kind of virtual option, but what if we all took it a little bit easier on that last day? Maybe we have a 3-day weekend. All right, so what are some other ideas? So some districts have also done with what my district did in the past. They've offered a plethora of PD opportunities or time for teachers to reflect and collaborate without spending their own personal time doing so. I think we have to be careful here because most of the time our districts do a terrible job of creating PD. I don't know why. It can be so boring sometimes. I just can't even handle it. I've had some excellent PD and I've had some not so excellent PD. I definitely think they could take a page out of the STEMCon playbook and they might have some excellent PD to work with. But, one can only dream. Then another thing I realized when I was looking at some of this research and looking at some of the things that teachers say as far as a 4-day work week is that some say that their district went to 4 days, but made the teachers do a 5th day, and that the teachers themselves then had an issue with childcare. Now, we made a solution for this in my district when we had teacher work days without childcare. We would hire other teachers, teenagers, and we would keep them in the cafeteria or the media center or something like that. And the teenagers, we would all pay really cheap amount. But because it was an accumulation for the teenagers, they had a decent amount of money. So they made money, and the kids, we had somebody watching the kids. Now, I'm sure people are like, oh gosh, the legal ramifications, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I'm like, do we want things to work out or do we not? When we value it, we make it work. So I'm sure there's something that we could do. It doesn't have to be, if we have to care about this so much, we had to care about it so much as a country, why is that not important in this situation? But okay. And if we had to sign some waiver or something, I don't know. But if we truly value something, we make it work. So what do you think? Would you like to entertain the idea of a 4-day work week? Or do you think it's a bad idea? I would love to know what you think. I would love for you to write me back. I'd love for you to share it in the comments. You can give me a review while you're there on Apple, or also on Spotify has that option as well. And it would be wonderful to see some information from you. Or you can even email me. You can find me on Instagram, Trina Debery TNL. You can direct message me, all kinds of ways. I'd love to hear your thoughts on a 4-day work week. And you don't have to tell me that there's a legal ramification for have teenagers watching teachers, kids. That's fine. I get it. But maybe there's a solution. Maybe you have a solution for that. That's what I'd like to hear, is a solution-based response. All right. This one tired teacher is ready for a long spring nap. Until next time, sweet dreams and sleep tight.